Did you know that the top 1% in this country pay over half the income taxes collected every year? And if you ask some people, they'll say it's as high as 90%. Now, I actually looked this up because that's what I do. I look stuff up. And I found out that the number is closer to 45%, between 40 and 50%. The top 1% of income earners pay between 40 and 50% of all income taxes collected every year. But then I took it a step further and asked, why is that? Now, I'm not an economist, and I'll fully admit that, but this chart here from the Federal Reserve might give us some explanation as to why the top 1% are paying so much in taxes. If you look back here before the year 2000, look at how close those lines are together. Now look at where we are today at Q4 of 2024. Look at how high it is for the top 1%. Look at how little it's grown for the bottom 40%. Now, if you want to look at that same chart again, but in percentages, it looks better for the top 1% because it looks like they're approaching their all-time high around 2008, 2009, but they're not quite there yet. But look at that bottom 40%, how their percentage ownership of the wealth of this country is actually shrinking. If you want a simple explanation why the top 1% in this country pay the bulk of the income taxes every year while the bottom 50% have little to no income tax liability every year, this chart is admittedly flawed, but it does show you something pretty remarkable. And that is the fact that the bottom 50% aren't generating enough income to allow them to buy assets to include it in their wealth. Meanwhile, the top 1%, their wealth is growing. So if you're part of that group of people that thinks that everybody should have some skin in the game, everybody should at least have $1 in income tax liability, have some skin in the game. I actually agree with you guys 100%. I actually have a win-win solution that would make that happen. Have the top 1%, the people in the green bar down there that own everything, pay their employees more money. Pay them enough money not only to cover their cost of living, but pay them enough extra so that way they can actually accumulate assets like a home. That's going to make the yellow and red bars grow on this graph, and it's going to make them have some income tax liability because they'll be making enough money. And at the same time, it's going to reduce the income tax liability for the top 1%. It's a win-win.